Hello and welcome to Wingin It. So I've got another speedrun game here today. If you haven't seen my first attempt at this kind of speedrun, I recommend you check out my first video. There'll be a link in the description for that. But essentially, just to give a bit of context, what I'm trying to do here is beat the hard Automa in Wingspan in the shortest possible time. So I've had a few more attempts of this just offline to see how low I could get the time. My first attempt I managed 6 minutes and 44 seconds, which I thought was a pretty good time, but I knew I'd left some time on the table. You know, some of my turns weren't completely optimal, and I think I prioritised too much on the score rather than the time. Certainly I think that it's worth taking that risk to not maximise your score and just hope that the Automa scores lower than you in the interest of time. So again, as with my first game, I'm really prioritising these birds that activate quickly. So you see I've already got the Phoebe in the grasslands, and then the flycatcher came up in the tray as well, so I wanted to jump on that just because those are two really quick birds to activate. It's just a single click and you get the grub from it. I did take a bit of a risk because that flycatcher was in the tray for a few turns and I could have taken it, but I wanted to get that yellow threat down first just so I could really maximise that card draw. Rather than just get the single card, I could actually get three by discarding the egg, so that would save me a turn or two in future rounds. And yeah, I managed to get the flycatcher down in this first round, which meant I could snatch that first end of round goal as well, which is always important. And you'll see 7 seconds quicker than my previous time, so I'm already feeling pretty good at this point. I've got a fast engine, just lay the 3 eggs, get the 2 grubs really quickly, and yeah, to be already ahead of that previous time, this kind of felt like a strong run. Really, it was just all going to depend on the card draw. The weakness probably of this engine is the fact that I am only getting grubs, so I'm a bit limited in what I can play and how many birds I can play, because you can see all these birds I'm drawing. So some of them eat grubs, but they also eat other food, so it's going to be quite expensive if I'm just going to get these down with grubs. I'm also really trying to prioritise these birds that have a lot of nest spaces, so you can see I've already got 3 birds that have got those 4 nest spaces down. Partly that's for the engine. I want to spend as many turns laying eggs as I can, not just because it's quick, but it's going to score points and get me lots of food. But also, you might have seen I picked the breeding manager bonus card at the start, so yeah, if I can get as many of those 4 egg space birds as possible and just really maximise that, then that's going to help my chances. So you see there I picked up a couple of double birds, so I think it was the titmouse and the house wren. So that was kind of with an eye on the end of round goal for round 3, but also they both eat grubs, they both got lots of nest spaces, so that's going to help run that engine a lot quicker. So the mockingbird comes up in the tray here, which is really good. I want to try and get that down in my grasslands. That's just going to give me even more grubs. Fortunately, it does reveal the killdeer, which kind of always seems to happen in this game. But on reflection, to be honest, I don't think the killdeer really is something I need at this point. You see I've already got loads of cards in my hand. That was actually a misclick there with the mockingbird, so there's a balance in this game mode where you're trying to go as fast as possible, but there's a few times in this game in particular where I just rushed a little bit the move and either did the wrong thing or did something that wasn't quite optimal in terms of time or score. So yeah, it's not the end of the world. It was frustrating, and I think some of that frustration bled over into this turn where it was a little bit slower than it could have been, but I got all those birds down. Not a whole lot of points, only 4 points, and it cost me 4 eggs to play them. But I'm more thinking about the nest spaces. I'm thinking about this end of round goal, so yeah, I managed to get those down fairly cheaply as well. They all ate grubs, which helped. So yeah, really I can just again cycle through this grasslands, get as many of these eggs down. I'm already pretty well up on my previous time. You'll see I'm at the end of round 2, I was about 26 seconds ahead, and both gold splits, which means that they were the fastest I'd ever done those rounds in all of my attempts before. So yeah, feeling in a strong position. And yeah, coming to the end of round 3 now, we get another gold split, and it's now 30 seconds ahead of my time. So at this point I'm looking at the time and thinking, can I get this under 6 minutes? Can I shave that extra 10 seconds off? So really I'm just trying to get through these turns quickly. In the back of my mind, I am a bit worried about not winning. I do pull the Visionary Leader there, which probably was the perfect bonus card for me. I've got loads of cards in my hand just from those previous turns, so that was definitely a nice draw. But yeah, it's the point scoring is not quite there. It's only those 3 eggs a turn, so I am starting to worry a little bit that it's going to come down to these last few turns, and when you've not got the time to think and calculate, you've just got to go off instinct and think, okay, what can I get down that feels like it would be a good point scoring move. But yeah, really kind of coming up to the end of this game, I just decided to lay eggs. Did leave a couple of points there. I could have got 4 eggs on the Mockingbird, so that missed out a point on the Breeding Manager, and unfortunately the Automa does get that extra cube to tie the end of round goal. So I'm sweating a little bit here as the scores come in, worrying about what it's going to be, and you'll see it's a dead heat, 88 all, but thanks to all those grubs I'm getting from my grasslands, I do manage to win on the food tiebreaker, so I take that. A win's a win, and you'll see I did manage to get just barely under that 6-minute mark, so that felt good. I felt like this was a strong run. Definitely some mistakes in there, Mockingbird in the forest being the obvious one. Probably a few other optimizations. I'm kind of just looking through my cards here because I didn't even really have the time to appreciate them, but those 11 points from those 2 bonus cards, I think that definitely helped. So yeah, like I said, I'll definitely keep trying doing a few more of these speed runs, try and get this time down a bit lower, but I think getting it under 6 minutes is a good time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.